today we are talking trainers. So one of our lovely members asked us about trainers, when she needs new trainers, where to get new trainers, and some just general advice on trainers really. So I'm going to hand over to a trainer. Silly use of words there. Mr. Chris, what have you got to say? Oh, it's his birthday today, by the way. Sorry, happy birthday, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, happy birthday to Chris.
That's why I'm around today.
Hi.
Hello. First of all, it can be a minefield with trainers. There are so many different trainers for different things. Some have claims which are slightly outrageous or they stretch the interpretation of the truth. But the first thing is when you walk into a shop and you see a huge array of trainers, what do they do? So here we have, I've got 3 of mine. I've got several trainers. Well, thank you very much for that, Kat. Thank you. So I've got 3, well actually I've got more than 3 pairs of trainers. I've got loads of trainers for different things.
Quite a lot of trainers in this house.
So this is, well, I'll show you them all together. So you have 3 kind of trainers. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So you can see they all look very
trainer-like,
different. This is my kind of work trainer and a very good running trainer. I'd use this if I was doing a lot of mileage on the streets running. It's a very good support. This is actually on offer. That's why I bought it. It was about £40 off. Made it from ridiculously expensive to just about a reasonable. So this is a regular, just good running trainer with cushioned sole.
So Brooks running trainer.
Same company, Brooks. As you can see, it's got a much more rugged sole. You see that with the grooves. This is a trail running trainer, but it's got a slightly thicker sole because when I do my trail runs, I want more support for my feet. And I'll talk more about the feet and what the importance of that is with the trainer selection.
I've got a pair of trail running shoes, and I find that they don't give me any sponginess. They don't give me any any kind of impact protection.
Yeah.
But they're perfect for running in the forest at this time of year. So
yeah. They
stop you from slipping over, basically.
Yeah, these are, I mean, compared to, so if you look at that, that's just very, very soft at the front. This one is much more rigid. And there is more cushioning on this, and it depends what trail run trainer you get, but generally, Karen's right, it is stiffer.
You bought more expensive ones for running up mountains, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just a regular, this is also a running trainer, but the main difference is that this really collapses in. And I use this for the gym because I want to be able to feel the floor and to be able to turn and twist if I'm doing, say, lunges, step-ups or jumping lunges to the side. I want to feel the floor with this and I want my foot to move restriction-free. That's just me personally. You might find that for your foot and your foot mechanics, you want more stability. But I actually want my foot to do that and for me to control that. So that's what you might see when you walk into a shop with all the different trainers and what they do. But the question is, how do you select the right one for you? And quite often you look at it and people go in and look at price first, being honest. Price, colour,
offers,
style.
Ease of getting them. Ones that you've had before, especially if you've got to shop online at the moment. I mean, I'd be thinking all about, what have I had before? Right, let's just get the next one of those.
And which do you think stands out more out of those 2? Let's get in both cameras out of those 2.
Fancy ones.
This one, without even knowing what it did, you'd think, well, that looks quite nice.
Yeah. Good
chunky sole compared to this one. This one was half the price of this one, but I don't need what this can do with this trainer. So that's why that works for me. But this may stand out and you may falsely think that is a better one for you. For the gym, that's absolutely fine.
So what about people at the moment, Chris, who are going to be doing a bit more training at home and might not be runners, might go for the odd walk here and there. I'm thinking about Liz, who asked the question. Wants a good all-round trainer, probably using it more often at home for fitness classes. What sort of things should she be looking for?
If some many people out there are, I appreciate it. Just buy one trainer. I'd buy 2 if you're going to be inside. We are going to be inside for, unfortunately, a larger stretch of time than we'd like. So I would get one for a fitness style indoor training shoe, and then also one for outdoor fitness. But if you're going to get just one, I would get one similar to this Brooks trainer that I've got, and it crosses 2 together. So you've got one which is okay for running, so it's fairly soft. But also it's not too bad for inside. I still feel that this is too stiff and too rigid for an indoor fitness trainer.
So what am I looking for, as in a name of a shoe that does all those things?
This is cushioned. It gives you, it's mid-stability, and mid-stability just means that It gives you stability through the middle of a trainer. It's cushioned, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
You can get into the mechanics of the foot. So if you have a dropped arch, rotated a forefoot, or you pronate in, you might want one with a more. Oh, someone's way. You might want one with more arch support in that. But to be honest, I would then look at the orthotics route and then get yourself checked up by a physio for that, rather than getting a trainer which you think is covering those bases. A very good. For example, I've got no arches in my feet; they're very flat, and this works for me because after 3-4 hours outside when I'm running, I still get the support through the inside of my foot compared to the others, which were these. Whereas I'm only going to be in the gym for sort of 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the very, very most. So that's why I would go for this. I'm going to be on my feet for longer. So getting to the different feet, if you have, let's say, flat feet like I do, you get more of a running style trainer where you put your foot in the insole, you can feel the arch support there. If you've got quite high arches, you might want to have a regular one.
I've got a sort of high arch and I tend to pronate inwards.
Yeah, so pronate, you'd be in between the two. But the best thing is when you put your foot in the trainer, you look down at your feet and just take a look at your ankles. So these are my feet, okay? And then that bit is my ankles. And if you can see your ankles are moving in together and you have to control that, then you might want to get more support inside your trainer. But this is me personally, I would still get a regular running trainer and then buy a separate insole for that.
Interesting.
Which would be way cheaper and have the same effect than getting a special trainer which gives you a higher instep. I've got a funny story which I had back in, Lily White's in
Oxford, yeah, Piccadilly.
Love
that shop.
So Lily White's before it got devastated by Sports Direct.
Oh, yeah.
And I went in there and I wanted a trainer. And I thought, oh, they've got gait analysis. So gait analysis is where they put you on a treadmill, an expert stands behind you, and then they have a look at what your feet does, and then they try and tell you a pair of trainers that is outside your budget.
Many a woman has been for gait analysis, not realising she should have worn a sports bra. So I just thought.
Really?
Yeah.
How fast were you running?
Believe me, there's bounce whenever you just even trot.
Di's here. Hi, Di.
Hi, Di.
Yeah, so we're at Lily White's.
Just joined at an opportune time.
I know, bras. Whoops, sorry.
Di.
Wasn't to the wrong room. So I was at Lily White's and they did this gait analysis of my foot and they said, right, you need this trainer because you pronate in. Now the thing is, even though I do tend to pronate in because I have no arches, so pronate is the arches fall forwards, I spent years working my feet and getting them strong enough so I can hold an arch as I squat down. Now the issue with your ankles and your feet pronating in and your ankles coming together is this puts pressure on your knees and the knees then squeeze in together. And the flat foot theory is that it'll put undue pressure and strain on the inside of your knees. Therefore you need a trainer to give you that support. So when he took me through the gait analysis, he then said, can you squat? And as I squat, my knees stay straight. He was scratching his head and he said, I actually don't feel comfortable selling you any trainers because I don't know what your feet do. So you need to be wary of the sales techniques used, the advice you're getting. I would personally go in there, fully armed, know what you want, know what works, and then if need be, once you find the trainers that work for you, get a separate insole, but get some advice if you're that concerned about your feet and your fallen arches.
I think it's difficult at the moment because ideally we would always recommend go and get your feet measured, your gait measured in somewhere like Run and Become. Does that still exist?
Runner's Need,
sweatshop. Go there first, get them to look at you, find a trainer that you like and you feel comfortable with, and above all that you can try out on a treadmill and walk around the shop in. And then we'd say, then find the trainer that you love and then you can buy them online in future. Oh, hello, lovely.
Hello.
So we're talking trainers, Tracy. But at the moment, I'm not really wanting to go into London to go to a runner's shop. So what we're saying is, standard. What are those things that you mentioned before? So you said it was mid support. For mid support.
But the terms often used are mid support, stability control. The terminology has just gone crazy now.
That's what I'm asking you to make it easy.
It's got even worse now because you've got the Nike
Vapor.
Okay,
let's say I'm like, all right, I've just started running a bit more, doing my exercise classes at home. What am I buying? What am I looking for online? Because it's just so many. Do I want an Asics 1, 2, 3000 GX, whatever?
Right. So I start at the top. The one that you want to avoid is the new models or the new models, this year's models. Avoid that. You don't need that. The trainers don't change that much from year to year. So you're going to pay a premium for paying, let's say, like my Brooks that I bought, they were £30 cheaper 6 months later.
I always buy the previous season's model.
You don't need that. And there are companies who specialise in that. I won't tell them who they are until they pay us a fee to market them. No, I'm joking. They
Start Fitness, really good.
But you don't need the top of the range and the new brands, new models. That's the first thing. Second of all, put your foot in there and see how that feels with support and stability. You feel a slight arch in that feels good. Third, put your foot in there, see what happens to your ankles. Just walking up and down is not enough, because what will happen is over time when you're on your feet will swell and the trainer softens. So you might think it feels great in the shop, but after 10-15 minutes, it may not feel great. So what you should do is just march on the spot. Even if you don't want to run, just march, do some squats, lunges. I know it might seem odd in a shop, but just try and do that if that's the trainer you're trying to buy.
And similarly, if you're buying online, what trainers do we need for doing a bit of everything? There we are. This is what we're answering, Tracy.
6 minutes late, Tracy.
So Mr. L, happy birthday, Mr. L again, said, actually you should buy 2 pairs of trainers. I shouldn't be telling you that because I know that then you'll go and buy 2 pairs of trainers.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a one-fits-all, which was the trainer,
Okay, so
Chris?
Tracy, so I've got... You missed it earlier, so I brought out...
Probably having a cup of tea or doing something important.
You missed it now. I've got 3 of the many pairs of footwear that I have, and these do different things. So I've got trail running shoes with quite a rugged sole and they're quite sort of a deep support through the trainer. These are my work shoes, so I can run and do what I need to. That is my gym shoe, so that folds,
Flexible.
Tracy. Does that. Now, I would never run in this because I wouldn't last more than 10 minutes in this before my feet start to ache. So I wouldn't use that. If you wanted one that does everything, you want something in between this and this. Because this is, even though it's soft, it's a little clunky. It's a little clunky for my liking.
But I'd prefer a more supportive trainer, you see.
This is the thing. You do what you feel works best for you. I prefer something in between. But if you want to get one more like this. So this is more a traditional running trainer, but just with not as thicker a sole. So your feet can move a bit, but you have some support. And then again, put your hand inside. You'll feel an arch support. If there's not enough, ask for a separate arch support. And just doubling up on what Karen mentioned earlier about the getting yourself assessed. If you can't get to a shop, then just ask your physio or give them a call. If you haven't seen them for a while, give them a call and say, I want to buy a trainer. From what you remember of my feet, what kind of or ankles? They will have. Come on, all physios will know a lot about you.
Don't ask
you
a beautician.
No.
They might have another opinion.
What you remember about how my feet and my gait is and my stability, can you let me know what kind of trainer would work best for me? So I definitely asked them.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, Tracy. So at the moment, there are some people who are doing a bit of running, but a bit more exercise inside. Because I know you've been joining all of my weekly classes, Tracy, so you really need those trainers for those side-to-side great minds.
Yeah.
So that's why Chris is saying somewhere in between both of those.
Yes.
And actually, from a physiological point of view as well, once you're it's a very long word, you want to think about impacting your joints as well. So who's that? Oh, hello. Us, we're like this.
Christmas
we're so
band.
Old. We have to look forward to seeing
Presbyopia is coming for all of us.
Once you're a bit older, you want impact in your joints. And actually, if you've got more cushioning in the trainer, that's absorbing some of the impact. So you do also want to think about doing something, if you are training at home, then maybe have less bounce in the trainer.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you do want your feet to work. And there's a lot of theories about how when your foot is in the trainer's doing too much work. And your foot needs to control what your ankle and knee are doing to then give you support up your spine through your hips and through your pelvis and then up to your mid-back. And if a trainer's doing all the work, there's a fine line between doing too much work. However, if you're out running, as I mentioned earlier, for quite a long period of time, you do want that trainer to take some of the load off your feet and you want more stability. But if you're doing something at home, my own belief is I want something like this that has a bit of bend to it, but it provides a bit of support. And this inside, Karen, if you put your hand in there.
I don't really want to.
Please, Debbie, put your hand in the trainer. There you go, Debbie. Okay. How's that feel?
Only because it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what? We've talked a lot. I think we should like cut the trainer. No, I don't want to
Compared to?
Oh.
It's my birthday.
It's my birthday.
What's the difference?
That one's. It wasn't really premium. That's harder.
Thank you.
Harder.
Thank you. More support.
Yeah,
Okay.
more support.
There you go.
Do you know? Yeah, it is a minefield. But just get yourself a kind of mid-support running trainer. I think is what we're saying, isn't it?
Yes.
There used to be a time where you used to get studio trainers, but that was a bit more Nike marketing their kind of, sorry, and other brands marketing their studio classes.
Until they're going to pay us money, don't mention their name.
But then we'd have to say, this is a paid advert.
Oh, okay, sure.
No, we're not being gifted anything.
No, okay.
So we can just share our opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And that was, yeah. So don't go with gimmicks. Just get yourself a good mid-support running trainer. If you're getting one trainer, then just one good mid-support running trainer. And if it doesn't feel enough, and you've done those little tests that Chris said about the ankles and how does it feel in your feet, then go see a physio and think about getting orthotics. I think that's what we said in summary, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Put them on, look at your ankles, do a squat, do a lunge. In fact, when I buy a pair of jeans, when I used to go out shopping, so,
you make me laugh. Chris going out buying a pair of jeans maybe once every 3 years, and he'll buy 3 of the same pair.
Correct.
So we're chatting now.
Correct. Just like Batman. But
Okay.
you put. I always used to say to the sales assistant, I need to make sure I can squat and lunge, and if I can't, these jeans aren't coming home with me. They never understood that. But with trainers, you do some squat, you do a lunge, do a few of the moves where you feel like you'll be doing at home. Because what may happen as well, one last thing, what may happen is with this, the outside of this is quite hard because it gives me a bit of ankle support. If I had to do a side lunge, that would dig in to my ankle and feel quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it is important that you just take your feet through some of the moves. If you can, try a trainer on, but don't think that if you buy it and it doesn't feel great, you shouldn't send them back because it won't get much better with that. Right.
I think we're done.
There you go.
Right.